and welcome. I'm Zombie Kitty and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So, in the last episode we did the true ending and I said there's a few more things that we have to get. One of them was the CDs. I don't really know what they include, but I have gone around in my spare time to collect all of them. I didn't film it because I thought that would be really boring for you guys. It literally took me half the day to get all of them. But also thanks to Dorco for providing a guide to where each of them were. I wouldn't have known otherwise. I would not have known where these were. But we're back in here, we're back in the Michael Afton room. And if you remember, there was a tape player here. So, also very quickly, if we go down to the Retro CDs, I've only got 14. Now the reason for that is because there's one in Elk Ships and there's one in the prize corner. Those are bugged and still are bugged. I can see them in the game, but I can't pick them up. The option does not appear for me. So, I'm either just going to do the 14 CDs or I'm going to see if the last 2 CDs are on YouTube and we'll listen to that. But all this video is going to be is we're going to be reacting to the
Hello, Vanessa. How are you feeling
CDs.
today? You look a little tired.
Okay, so this is Vanessa.
Well, it's been a while since we last spoke. How's your anxiety been? You did so well with your calming protocols when we first worked together. Are you still using those? Yes? Okay, good. Well, now I understand there's a new issue. It came on just recently, rather suddenly. Can you tell me about it?
What issue? I've been doing my job. I come in and sit at my desk and do my work.
Yes, of course you do. Your performance reviews are good. But a routine check of your online history has revealed that you've spent quite a bit of time with someone in an encrypted conversation. We have transcripts, and I've read them. But it's not clear what you're talking about in these conversations. I can't make sense of it. You must be getting something from these that I'm not getting, right? Who are you talking to in these?
No one. Sometimes I talk with Lewis. He's in the marketing department. He's nice, I guess.
Yes, I see Lewis here. But there's someone else.
Okay. So Vanessa's been talking to someone. Glitch trap maybe? Okay, so Lewis is in the marketing department. I think Lewis is also in FNAF AR, but again, I don't follow FNAF AR, so I don't really know. But yeah, Glitch Trap, I think, is who she's been talking to, because she was like, oh, you've been having digital conversations with someone. Okay, let's see if it will just move on to the next CD and see what happens. Yeah, cool.
Isn't it a pretty day? No? What's the matter? Oh, right. Too bright. I'll pull the shades.
So it's the same therapist.
Better? When the shade's pulled, it feels like we're in a cubbyhole or a cave? Yeah? So you're not talking to me again today. This isn't all that productive, you know. Don't you think the sessions are more successful when you talk to me? You know, everyone associated with this company gets performance reviews, right? When my sessions don't get results, my reviews aren't very good. If you don't want to talk for your own sake, how about for mine? You don't want me to get in trouble, do you? I could be put in the corner for a timeout. Yeah, you think that's funny, huh?
Okay, I have 2 theories on that one. So she said, oh, if you don't talk, I don't get good reviews, and when I don't get reviews, my job is in trouble or something. So it seems like, okay, so either this is Vanessa, and Fazbear Entertainment has told someone, oh, there's something up with this woman, maybe you should, like, put her into sessions or something, and Vanessa's being uncooperative. So it feels like Vanessa's been forced into this, and she doesn't really want to be involved in this. Or because she mentioned at the beginning, oh, it's like a cubby hole or a cave or something. It sounds like she's talking to a child. It's the same person, the same therapist woman from the previous tape, from the previous CD. So I'm thinking, oh, I don't know. I'm going to say she's still talking to Vanessa, but I don't know if Vanessa's a child at that point or what. Okay, let's go to the next one and see what this one's going to be.
Hi, go ahead. Sit down.
I don't know you. What happened to...
Oh, we'll get to know each other in no time.
That's a different
I
person.
went through all your files, so I feel like we've been talking for weeks. I feel like I know your dad, too. Bill, right? Your dad's name was Bill? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I try to do what I'm supposed to do.
I know you do. Your supervisor notes that you follow instructions perfectly. Your dad made you follow instructions, didn't he? I'm talking about the custody battle between your mum and your dad. Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your mum look bad in court. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Do you want to talk about how that felt? I suppose I don't need you to tell me it felt bad to have a parent scare you into saying things that weren't true. He manipulated you. It wasn't your fault. It's really sad, but it's common for one parent to use their child to hurt the other parent. I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
I was supposed to be a good girl.
What happened to her had nothing to do with you, even though it was your testimony that did it. Was that testimony true? No, I didn't think so. But your dad is to blame, not you.
Okay. So okay. I'm pretty sure Bill is another name for William. And we've already mentioned in a previous episode, like, oh, was Vanessa actually William's daughter? So, okay, what I'm thinking then, they bleeped out the name of the wife, which was interesting as well. I guess that's for, like, theory purposes. They don't want to give you the whole answer, which is what Five Nights at Freddy's has always been like that. They'll be vague with their lore to give you guys theories. That's why the games, in my opinion, have always kind of worked and kept going, because the theories and the lore have kept it going. But, okay, here's what I'm thinking. I don't think Vanessa is the daughter of the William family that included Michael and the crying child and Elizabeth. I think Vanessa was the first child of William's. William then had a divorce, and then the second family he had is the one that we know. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's a different therapist. Let's go to the next one and see what the next one's going to be. Oh yeah, so, sorry, I was going to mention something else actually before we continue. So what was it? She said that, oh, I was supposed to be a good girl, like, oh, you were just following orders, you always followed orders. You always did as you were told. And obviously Vanny is being forced to do these things and being told and doing what she's told. So the theme is still kind of, it's carrying on into this. Okay, let's go to the next one.
You're not going to talk to me? No? What's the problem? Oh, the flowers? Yes, these are particularly fragrant today, aren't they? I'll move them. There. Now, let's see. What are you looking at? You're amazingly alert, aren't you? All right. Well, I'd like to have you tell me about yourself. But I can see that you're not going to do that. Or are you? All right then. If you aren't going to talk to me, I'll just go by these notes. You just sit there and be comfy. Or not. That chair doesn't really fit you, does it? Well, this won't take long. Let's see. Your previous counselor is no longer available. Does that bother you? No? You don't look surprised to see me sitting here instead of your last therapist. Well, then, let's get to it. I'll admit that some of what's in your file is a little surprising. Overall, you don't come across as a troublemaker. But if you read between the lines, it's clear that you have a little rebellious side, right? And I'm surprised by your knowledge of computers. You're something of a phenom. Do you know what that word means? It means you have unusual skill, like a hacker. I assume you know what a hacker is. Yes? Do you think of yourself as a hacker?
Okay, that's a child. Because, especially the last couple of questions, she was like, oh, do you know what that means? Do you think you're like that? But also when she said, oh, that chair doesn't look as if it fits you. So I think that's, okay, I think 4 and 5, even though they're obviously in the right order in the game, I think in chronological order, they're in the wrong order. Because that first tape, the one we just listened to, sorry, that woman was like, oh, I don't really know anything about you. But in the previous tape, she said, oh, I already know a lot about you. It's like we've known each other for weeks. So, these might be different people. Because it doesn't make sense, because there's a previous one where Vanessa talked. And even though the first tape called her by her name, but there's been a couple that we've listened to already which sound as if they're talking to a child. I have a lot of theories. Let's continue. I have a lot of theories.
Good morning, Vanessa. Let's jump right in, shall we? I got a message last night about you, and I have to be honest, it was upsetting. Apparently, the IT department has put together a pretty lengthy report chronicling non-job-related communications that have been coming to your computer. The fact that you're still doing something obviously not work-related on the job is disturbing enough. But what bothers me about what I read is that the messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I get a lot of messages from friends. I like when Lewis writes to me. He's funny.
I'm not talking about Lewis. You know who I'm talking about. Why won't you open up about it? What you might not know is that this person who's been sending you messages has been hacking into your personal files too. These are the same files I have here. These files are full of details about your life. Do you know what that means?
I'm not in the tech department. I just type on the computers.
I know that. But what matters here is that this person who is contacting you knows a lot about you.
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
Oh, I have so many theories now. Because the previous one, the previous CD, she was saying, the therapist woman was saying, oh, you seem to know a lot about computers, you seem to be a really good hacker, do you know what that means? But in this one she's saying, I don't really know about the computer stuff, I don't work in IT. So, I have so many, this is going to be a really muddled video theory-wise. I'm thinking either the therapist is talking to a child and Vanessa, or Vanessa has a split personality and the previous tape was talking to the split personality, Vanny, and this one is talking to Vanessa the human, and then Vanny the rabbit. Because that would make more sense of Vanny knowing hacking but Vanessa doesn't, and that kind of thing. Let's continue.
Good morning. It's good to meet you.
You're a different person!
So I'm up to speed on what you and your previous therapists have worked on. Sure, you can have a candy. I'll have one too. You look chill sitting there like that. Not a care in the world, huh? All right, Well, I'd like to start by talking about your parents. What happened to them and you was tragic. But when I looked through the notes, I didn't get a sense that you've processed that emotionally. When I read your account of what happened, it came across as, well, more of an objective rather than a subjective narrative. Oh, sorry. You don't know what that means, do you? What I mean is that the way you told the story is more like you were reading something from a book than you were talking about your own past. That makes me think you've cut yourself off from it. Is that right? Not sure? Well, I see in your file that you spend a lot of time by yourself and are good at self-dialogue. You know what I mean? Asking yourself questions and getting answers. So maybe you should ask yourself how you really feel about your past. Maybe you should give yourself a chance to really look at what happened and let yourself be upset about it, so you can let it go.
Wild theory here. But firstly, that's a different person again. I have a very wild theory with this one. I think the tapes are on different people. So some of them are to do with Vanny, which is the one it sounds as if they're talking to a child. You got Vanessa, where Vanessa's talking. That one, because of what they were saying, like, oh, the way you're describing your past is like an objective. Like, you've got self-dialogue and you're always trying to find answers to what's been going on to your past. You just need to let it go. Who have we been following this whole franchise? And he's been trying to find out what his father's done and try to undo it. I think this tape is to do with Michael. I think, wild theory here, but I think that's Michael. Why he's not talking, I don't know. Either it was him as a child, or he's managed to disguise himself so much after the scoop that they kind of just accepted him with the way he is, but he can't talk. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what the next one is.
Hi, Vanessa.
Oh, Vanessa again.
Would you like a candy? Butterscotch today.
No, thank you. Those have 35 calories apiece.
Well, they taste good to me. Okay, I thought we could do something today that will help us get to know one another better. It looks like you've never taken an ink blot test, right? No? Okay. Then I'm going to show you some ink blots, like this one. And I want you to tell me the first thing it makes you think of. Here we go. What do you see here?
A treehouse.
It does look sort of like a treehouse, doesn't it? Do you like treehouses?
I like to sit outside and read.
That's good. Now, what about this one?
A beetle.
Really? Looks like a face to me. That's very interesting.
I don't really have anything to say on that one. But yeah, so all the ones where the other woman is talking, like, okay, so all the ones that are Vanessa are the ones where the therapist says it's Vanessa and she's actually talking. The other ones, I think, are Vanny. That previous one we just listened to, I think, is Michael. I don't really have much to say on this one. I haven't really got any information from that, so let's just continue.
Have you thought more about what we talked about? In our last session, you told me you were sad and scared about what happened to you. I suggested you write down exactly what made you so sad and scared. Did you do that? You know, I work with people of all ages, from little kids to the very elderly, and everyone reacts to tragedy differently. Tragedy always leads to a feeling of loss. It's a hole that feels funny, right? Yeah. So, if you could process those feelings, how do you think it would affect your fantasies? Would you keep them in the way they are? What are you doing? Oh, you like those? I do too. They smell so sweet, don't they? Apparently, the janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years. Do you ever grow things? No?
I work a lot.
I know you do. Maybe more than you should. More free time would do you good. Do you have a hobby? No? Perhaps we could find one for you, like a sport. No? I have a craft space in my basement. Maybe I could come up with something you could learn to do.
I don't like dark basements.
Okay, I got enough. So I apologise I didn't say anything after the 8th tape. My light decided to go out. I do apologise. I don't really have much to say on the 8th tape though. Again, I'm thinking that's Michael as well. I don't know. Or again, it could be Vanny. I don't know. This one though, I didn't really get anything from it until she said I don't like dark basements. So was she, I don't know, was she abused? Maybe that's where the traumas come from. But yeah, I apologise about the 8th and 9th tape. But I don't really have too much to say on it at the moment.
I'd say make yourself comfortable, but I think you already are. It looks like you could take a nap. That's a nice chair, isn't it? According to these message logs, you've been working pretty late over the last couple of weeks. Or not working. Are you ready to talk about who you're interacting with? From what I can see here, the interaction is getting more serious. Is it distracting you from your work?
My work is important. There's a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay. So we're back to the communication with Glitchtrap. Okay, I'm just trying to think like, oh, there was something that Vanessa wanted, or the therapist woman wanted Vanessa to say, but she was like, no, I'm under an NDA. So I'm assuming the therapist was trying to get Vanessa to talk about Glitchtrap and the conversations. We're back to that digital conversation thing again. But Vanessa ain't saying anything. Let's continue.
Good morning, Vanessa. Well, I can't blame you for looking out the window instead of listening to me. It's a gorgeous day, isn't it?
I like the blue sky.
So do I. Now, let's see what we can get done on this nice sunny day. Okay, here we go. I know part of your job requires you to do online searches, but a routine audit of your search history has revealed that you're doing a little private searching on company time. Is that right?
I get breaks.
That's true. So, on your breaks, it looks like you were shopping for a costume. You purchased some fake fur material. What are you gonna make? What was that? Did you say the costume is a secret? Why is that?
I can't talk about this. He said he would always be watching. He could be here, or there, or anywhere in between.
Are you talking about your dad? Have those feelings come up again? I hate sounding like a broken record, but this is something you really need to resolve if you're ever going to be happy.
I have. I compartmentalized him. He's locked away.
No, that's not what I mean. You can't just ignore an issue. You have to face your memory of the experiences and process them so you can let it go. So you don't get triggered anymore. You can use a sort of self-dialogue to release these things.
I don't like doing that.
Well, okay. We'll get back to that. I'd really like to know something about this costume. What's it for?
Oh no! Oh, you don't want to know, lady. Okay, so... Oh, she's getting a costume and fake fur, is she? That's not to create a rabbit suit, is it? Okay, yes, there we go. So, I feel like that's confirmation William Afton was her dad. I kind of guessed that from when we were in the underground bit and we saw the table with the robots dressed as the Afton family around that table. I kind of guessed that Vanessa was an Afton kid. The fur and the costume, it's the Vanny costume. And then she melts down and says, oh, he's always watching, he's always seeing everything I'm doing. That's Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap's in her head. That's what's going on. Okay, so what I think, we've still got a couple more to do, to listen to. But what I think is, the tapes are talking to Vanny and Vanessa. Vanessa is the one that talks. Vanny is the one that doesn't talk. And then, I think it was tape 7 or 6? Where they were talking about, like, oh, it always seems like you're talking about your past. It's like you're talking about an objective. I think that's Michael. Okay, so let's go to tape, what was this? 12.
I understand you'll be transferring to a different location soon. I'll be sorry to see you go. I think we've been making progress, don't you? You can request to come back and speak with me more on your own time, though. Did you know that? Our sessions don't have to be company mandated. I have all sorts of clients, Vanessa. I don't just work with corporations. I work with individuals and small groups. I even work in schools. I'm wherever I'm needed.
I'm needed somewhere else now. Thank you.
Okay, so timeline wise, because I wasn't sure about the timeline of this, so she's moving to a new location, so either that's FNAF AR, because I think she was in that, or it's this. So the tapes before the one we've just listened to, I think was number 12, was set before this, and probably I reckon was set around Help Wanted. Okay, let's continue on. This is tape 13.
When I'm getting to know a new client, I like to start by finding out directly from them what they like to do. How do you spend all the time you have? Nothing. Well, how do you feel about sports? You like sports? Yeah? No? Oh, I get it. You like to watch them, but not play them. You like being inside, don't you? I get that. Lots of weird stuff outdoors, isn't there? Yeah, I understand. Well, I hate to do this right off the bat, but I've been directed to ask you about this. Apparently, I'm the 4th therapist you've had. And apparently, all 3 of your former therapists have gone missing. Or 2 of them are missing. I don't want to scare you, but I have to tell you that one of them was found dead. That doesn't seem to upset you. Well, then I guess I'll go ahead and tell you that the woman's body was pretty messed up. It looked like it was mangled by machinery. That doesn't bother you either? It's all pretty strange, I think. I'm not clear on the circumstances. Apparently the police don't have any evidence. How does all of this make you feel? Maybe I should be watching my back. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Okay, shall we move on to something lighter?
Okay, so I apologise that this is going to be a little edited. My camera did get corrupted earlier, so I'm just kind of taking precautions. But okay, the reason that Vanny is not that surprised or bothered by the therapist turning up missing or dead is because I think she's killing them. That's why she's not really surprised or shocked by it. It's because she's doing that. This is a new therapist, so this is a new location, so I assume this is either in FNAF AR or in here, but I'm not really sure. Again, I don't really follow FNAF AR, so I don't really know. Okay, so this is the last one that I have. This is tape 14, sorry. And then the last 2 tapes I'm going to listen to on YouTube. So, let's listen to the last one I've got.
Do you know a place called Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex? I'll take your silence as a yes. And besides, I know you know it, because the technicians who work for Pizzaplex know you. Or rather, I guess it would be better to say that they think they do. They report that they've caught you on camera, or at least it appears to be you. Nothing to say about that? Well, the techs are convinced that you've hacked into their system many times. Although, I'll admit I don't see any proof here. Seems like they have more of a gut feeling than fact. But apparently, the hacks are causing all kinds of problems. You get a kick out of that? The idea of techs running around like chickens with their heads cut off? Yeah, that's a funny image, isn't it? But seriously, I have to say that I think it's weird that you'd spend so much time in such a busy, social place. You seem like more of a loner to me. Lots of time by yourself instead of with friends. Lots of time talking to yourself. Right? Is it the electronics you like? I saw in your file that you have developed software programs that talk to you in repeat phrases, right? The program asks you questions and prompts you for responses. It's kind of like your own self-therapy, isn't it? Another way of talking to yourself to work things out, right? When I saw some of your recent encrypted conversation logs, that's what I thought I was looking at. It felt like I was watching someone go back and forth in their own head. But the techs found something that's different than that. When I read what they found, at first, I thought I was looking at more examples of you just talking with yourself. Then I realized it was different. When I study this, it sounds like there is someone else responding to you. Who is it?
Okay, so I'm guessing the previous tape and this one is during FNAF AR, because I'm guessing she's not at the Mega Pixelplex yet. But yeah, the other person she's talking to is Glitchtrap. That's who she's talking to. So, okay, we're going to listen to the last two tapes on YouTube. So, it'll be a couple of seconds for you, but it'll be a few minutes for me. We'll listen to the last two tapes, and then I'll say all my theories on this in a minute. So, see you in a mo. So we're going to be listening to tape CD 15 and 16 on YouTube. This was put up by Kazuko FNAF. I will link their YouTube channel in the description below. But let's go ahead.
I saw some ink blot test results in your file.
That's a different person.
I like ink blot tests. You want to do one? Yes? Okay. How about this one? What do you see? What? You want to hold it? Okay. You think it's a mask? It reminds you of a mask? Like a disguise? Yeah, I can see that. You like the idea of being disguised? Disguises let you be sort of invisible, don't they? You can get away with almost anything when you're invisible, can't you? Yeah, you like that idea, huh? Well, okay, moving on. I have another report we need to talk about. Apparently, the techs were reviewing communications going in and out of this building, and they came across some interesting things. They say you were in communication with someone, or maybe something. Pretty strange. What do you think about that? Nothing? Well, the techs say it looked to them like it was an attempt to manipulate you, or maybe to lure you somewhere. There, that's better. On this side of the desk, I can see your eyes. Thing is, when I read the communications, I get something different out of them. I don't think you're being manipulated here. I think you're the one doing the manipulating. No comment? Huh? Okay. Then how about this? I have this still shot the techs pulled from the security footage that recorded you in the Pizzaplex. That's you, isn't it? I know this image is distorted, but I think it looks like you. And you're not alone here. You're talking to someone. Or something. It's hard to tell. What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears. What? You find that amusing? Well, I guess it is.
Okay, hang on. Let's pause it before we get into the next one. So, the techs have noticed that Vanny is going around the Pizzaplex with someone else who has rabbit ears. So I'm assuming even if she's human, her shadow looks like rabbit ears? It looks like glitch trap because of the rabbit ears. That's what I'm getting from this. And that's who she's talking to, obviously. Why is it a different person again? Is it because she's now working at the Pizzaplex? Because I assume the previous therapist was during the FNAF AR bit, and now she's at the Pizzaplex, and so the therapist has changed. Or they decided, oh yeah, maybe the therapists are changing once she thinks you know too much, you need to go. You know way too much, you're getting too close. And then that's when the therapist changes. They find out a bit too much. And then Vanny and Vanessa think, actually, I think it's time you get out of the picture. Okay, let's move on to the last one, and then I kind of want to say my theories on all of this, because this has actually been really interesting. So, here we go, CD 16.
I got another message from the techs at the Pizzaplex. I'm afraid it's about you again. The techs have been struggling to fix some serious glitches with the robots. I'm not sure what exactly is wrong, except that it's making the robots more eerie than entertaining. You like that? Eerie instead of entertaining? Thanks, but it's really not that funny. Apparently, the glitch extended beyond the robots. It went system-wide. It began infecting all the machines, and when the techs traced the glitch back to its origin, it led them to you. I'm not going to pretend to understand everything I'm reading here, but what I get is that the system-wide glitch was like a cascade that was broadcasting a very dangerous message. While the techs were trying to reprogram the system to remove the glitch, the source of the glitch shifted. You'll have to excuse me, I'm not all that familiar with computer programming, so I might get this wrong, but what I understand is that the glitch stopped being a glitch and turned into an intentional set of subroutines that were aimed at creating the same thing the glitch created. Those subroutines seem to have come from you. Can you explain that? Listen, I'm on your side here. Our sessions are just between you and me. The techs can't prove what they think, so you're not in trouble. I just thought you could tell me what you're trying to do. Maybe if we could get to the bottom of that, it could help you. What do you think? Still not talking? All right. Well, then let's do this. Why don't we talk about the research I did in your past, shall we? Some therapists think they should only focus on information they get from their clients, but some therapists, like me, think it's helpful to find out about clients from other sources. Want to guess what I found out when I looked into the tragedy of your past? All that stuff about your parents? You aren't even going to look at me? Fine. You can look at the floor all you want. But it won't change the fact that none of what you said in your file about your parents was true. The truth is, you had great parents, a great childhood. Why did you lie? Look at me. Tell me why you lied. You... Well, I can understand why you might feel angry about the way I just confronted you. Why don't we come back to this another day? You're shaking your head as though that's not going to happen.
Okay, oh, thank you, Light, for switching off. Okay, so that was it. Wow. So I guess those last two CDs kind of confirm what we already knew. Glitchtrap is controlling Vanessa. She didn't want to seem to talk about it. That makes sense. She was the one hacking into the animatronics, making them come after us, Gregory, and making them all crazy and all that lot. It's not really anything new. Like, we kind of already knew that, especially from the true ending, when even Freddy said, someone tried to change me and it didn't work, but it affected my friends, they're so angry and confused. Like, we kind of already knew that she was hacking into the animatronics and changing them. Glitchtrap was then also, she let Glitchtrap hack into them and infect them, which made them in the way that they are in the main game. And then he also kind of spread across the building, which is why the security bots are after us and going crazy and all that lot. And then it ended up just going to her because she was a vessel for Glitchtrap. We kind of already knew all this, so I think that in terms of the CDs where Vanessa is talking is Vanessa. That's the human that doesn't really know what's going on. That's the security guard that kind of is a security guard, is a bit quiet, spends a lot of time on her own, doesn't really know computers. And then the ones where the person wasn't talking to the therapist, that was Vanny, who's the killer, the hacker, and the more confident one, the side of Vanessa that's been possessed by Glitchtrap. But there was, I think it was CD 11, I think that was Michael. But I wouldn't be able to say what the time frame would have been. But there was just a couple of things they said, like, you're talking about your past in a objective way rather than subjective, as if it's a list of things that you need to do and fix. And I'm just like, well, yeah, what have we been doing this whole franchise with Michael? We've been trying to fix his dad's mistakes. Vanessa's dad is also called Bill. That's another name for William. So again, I think that's kind of been confirmed that she was an Afternoon daughter, but I don't necessarily believe that she was in the same family as the crying child, Michael and Elizabeth. I think maybe there was a family beforehand, that it didn't go well, there was a divorce, and then the second family was Michael, Elizabeth, and the crying child. I don't really know what to think when she was like, why did you lie? In the last CD, she was like, why did you lie? You had a great family and a great childhood. Like, what's there to lie about? I don't really believe she was lying. I think maybe she double lied, possibly. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to think on that one. But yeah, pretty much confirmed what I already had hoped, to be honest. With Vanny and Vanessa being the same person. Vanny is the corrupted one, whereas Vanessa is the one, I guess, that doesn't really know what's going on. So maybe when Vanny comes out to play, Vanessa is put to sleep in her own body. Like, that's what I think. Really, really interesting. And I think in terms of the lore in this one, because I've seen a lot of people say, like, the lore's really confusing, there's hardly anything here. I think the problem is that with the previous games, they've been so small in terms of, like, timeline and what you have, time-wise and what you have to do, that the lore just seemed like a lot. But I feel like with this one, obviously Security Breach is a huge game, that I feel like there's the same amount of lore in this than there is with the previous entries, but because the game is so big, it feels like there's not much. With the whole thing of, you have to actually go digging around to find the lore. With some of it, yes, I think that's a bit unfair. Like I said, with the true ending, I feel like there should have been a more prominent build-up. But with this, like, that's always been the case with FNAF. Like, that's always been the case with FNAF. You have to put some work in to find the lore. Like that, and that's always been the case. And I don't feel the argument or the criticism is justified for this one. Like, the digging is still the same, it's just the fact that this is a much bigger game and a different genre as well. So that kind of changes things a bit, but I still like what we've been given in these CDs. It kind of confirms what we already knew, or what I already had figured out. But it's nice to get confirmation. Also, the other thing I want to mention as well, the code on the wall in Michael's room, someone did figure it out. I can't remember what the hell the message was, but I think it was Dorco, or one of Dorco's friends who figured it out. Again, I'll link that video in the description below as well, because I'm not going to go figuring that out, because that is a really complicated process to figure out what the code means, and I'm not going to do that. I actually am really happy with the lore that we got from those CDs. I don't really have too much of an issue of the amount of lore that we've been given in the Security Breach so far. I think just the fact that it is unfinished, I think that's where the criticism is coming from. But I don't really have an issue with it, to be honest. I think it's just that this is a much bigger game, so it feels like there's hardly anything. But I think actually it's the same amount of lore as in any other entry. It's just the fact that this is a much bigger game. Contrary to what I said in the last episode, this is not going to be the last Security Breach episode that I'm going to be doing for a while, because I have discovered that I can unlock the E-Stock and Prize Corner endings. I thought that I had to go back to, the timing to run to the doors, but no, I can kind of access them at any point, because I'm still on 6 AM. So the next episode is going to be those endings, and then we've got a photo challenge to get, which does lead somewhere. And when I was running around to find the CDs, I went into Monty Golf, and one of the arcade machines is playable. So they're going to be split into 2 videos, but the next one is going to be the E-Stock and Prize Corner endings. The one after that, the next one is going to be the Monty Golf game and the photo challenge, and then the next one is going to be Prize Corner ending and E-Stock ending. So yeah, we still got a couple more videos of this until Princess Quest and the DLC and stuff is released and fixed. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this, and I am happy with with the information that we got from the CDs, and I've got some really interesting theories from this as well, and I'm quite excited to where this is going to go. But this was me listening to the 16 CDs in Security Breach. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye!